Hey everybody, Mike here and welcome to the channel. Well, what are we doing today? We're looking at 3D art portfolios, and I'm going to do a review of 5 submitted portfolios today. I'm not going to only look at the art, but also at how the portfolio is structured, what information is provided in that portfolio, what is the purpose of the portfolio, and how does it help that person to get closer towards his or her goal, right? Whether that is, how do I get hired by the right studio? How do I get an internship? And that kind of thing. Okay. Now, who benefits from this video? I would say anyone that is either already working in the industry or is still in college and wants to work in the industry, right? I mean, even if you are a veteran in the 3D industry, it's still great to make sure that your portfolio kind of mirrors your progression as an artist. And a lot of people tend to kind of slack off in that area because, hey, I already got a job, why would I, and so forth. But keep in mind, your portfolio is basically your business card, right? Now, that said, because your portfolio is your business card, it also means that it is a narrative. Your portfolio should tell a story, right? And that's what we're going to be talking about. What story do you want to tell and who do you want to tell it to, okay? So let's get started with the first portfolio here. Now, this is submitted, and hopefully I pronounce the names correctly. This is submitted by Giovanni Savastano, right? From Italy, Rome to be exact, right? Cool. Now, the first thing that I always look at in an ArtStation is the About page. And here it says, hello, I'm Giovanni Savastano, I'm 23 years old, and I'm a 3D character artist specialized on realistic characters using both organic sculpt and hard surface. Now, first of all, I know who he is, I know where he's from, I know his age, and he tells me that I'm a 3D character artist, okay? Specialized in characters, great. Hard surface, organic, all great. Now the thing is, what I don't see just yet is, okay, what is your background so far? How long have you been working? Now down here it says work from August 2020 to August 2021. So that's exactly 1 year. What happened after 2021? Are you still working as a 3D artist? Did you go to another company? What's the deal, right? Okay, so that's important to know. Now, I know something about the artists. What I want to know, though, is what is the purpose of this portfolio? Are you making this portfolio to show off to your friends what you made? Are you making it because you want to sell props online? Do you want a job? Here it says... Hey everybody, Mike here and welcome to the channel. Well, today we're going to be looking at 3D art portfolios. I made a video the other day asking people to submit their portfolios for review, and I received a lot of emails. So today we're going to be looking at the first 5. There are going to be more videos in this series, and you still have up until March 1st to submit your portfolio if you want to have a review done, right? Yeah, I'll put the email below so you know where to send it. Keep in mind, if you do submit your portfolio, it will possibly be reviewed online, and I'll be critiquing it publicly, right? So be aware. I'll try to be fair, but I'll also try to be critical. Now, that said, we're looking at portfolios. Now, the whole idea of a portfolio is to tell a narrative. I mean, you got a reason to put a portfolio, right? You're putting it up because you want to show your work off to your friends, or maybe you want to get hired in a job, or whatever that reason may be, okay? So this video is basically for anyone that's in the 3D industry or wants to be in the 3D industry. So if you're a student and you want to get hired at some point, or even if you are a veteran artist and you want to switch jobs, or maybe just get information out there because you're interested in other fields, okay? So yeah, that said, the portfolio is a narrative, and what I want to focus on is, okay, what is that narrative? What is the message that you want to tell? And besides that, of course, we're also going to be looking at the art. Now, enough about that. Let's look at the first portfolio and look at the first bullet on my list, which is purpose. Will this portfolio tell me what the purpose is of the portfolio by, in this case, Giovanni? And I hope I pronounced his name right, Giovanni Savastano, from Rome, Italy. Very cool. The first thing I see is that he's a character artist. Tells me a lot. And if I scroll down the About page, and that's where I would expect to find the purpose of the portfolio, I see that it says interested in full-time employment, contract, freelance. Great. Okay, now that's good to know. What I want to know though is there any more detail? So I'm going to look at the summary, and it says that he's 24 years old, he's a 3D character artist specialized in realistic characters, both using organic and hard surface, right? Now, what type of industry does he want to work in? I don't know. Doesn't say, right? Now, you can be a character artist in all sorts of industries. You can be, a realistic character artist in the film industry. You can be that in the movie industry. It can be anything, anything, anything. So I would definitely want to see that information, okay? Skills, digital sculpting, 3D modeling, that kind of makes sense based on the fact that he says that he's a character artist. Software, that's kind of interesting. Maya for modeling, ZBrush for sculpting, Substance Painter, texturing and so forth, Photoshop, Marmoset Toolbag. Now, normally you would see a huge list of software is listed here, right? Like 20 or so. Which is not always a good thing, because how good can you really be if you got all these different types of software, right? And if it works, it works. So this just might be a good thing, right? Now, what does concern me though is in the work section, it says character and prop artist at a company in Italy from August 2020 to August 2021. Okay. So apparently you're looking for full-time employment, contract-based, freelance, etc. But after 2021, you didn't do anything. So what have you been doing for the last 2 years? So I would definitely update that. All right? Cool. Now, what else is relevant for the portfolio other than the About page? Well, likes, following, followers, that's all cool, right? Might have a quick look at challenges. No challenges. Okay, so if he did participate in challenges and he won some awards or whatnot, that would tell me not only something about his work, but also how he gets his message out, right? How do you get exposure to your work? How do you get noticed? How do you get listed on other websites, maybe in magazines and that kind of thing, right? Okay. Right, let's go to the actual portfolio. Now, I go to the portfolio and I literally see 3 characters. And this one, let me click on it. I want to see if this is the final image or not. Let's scrub through it. Okay. Now, this is basically an anatomy study, I would say. Let's see, male character. Is there anything else that tells me anything here? Okay. So it's a digital sculpt. I assume it's a ZBrush. It tells me that he has the ability to model. Let's see, model anatomy. Cool. What I don't know is, did he start off with a base model or did he start from scratch? It will be cool to know that. If that were the case, I would have put up some screenshots here to display that so that I can literally understand what is your starting point. If you use sketches, for example, display those sketches as well. If you have a rough out blocking phase, do that as well, because I want to understand your workflow. What I also would want to know is how long did it take you, okay? Did you do it in an hour? Did you do it in 4 days? Pretty important if I'm a potential employer and I want to see, if you can work fast or not, okay? Now, it's limited to a gray model, so no texturing, no clothing, anything like that. So the purpose of the model, if that is to actually show the anatomy skills, I would want to see that listed, right? Something like this project is intended as, and so forth. Yeah? Okay. Right, let's go to the next one, because we got a lot to do here. Now, I see again a character. Let's see, after almost a year, I decided to come back in this project. So this is a project that's been re-looked at, right? And I think the clothing looks great. I would say this looks like a marvelous designer. Let's see if that's the case. Actually not, which is cool. So I think it's then sculpted in ZBrush. I do see some repetition in the folds here in the arm, which is never a good thing. I think the pose is a bit straight up, if you know what I mean. It's cool to see that sword on the shoulder. And also I would probably want to see that shoulder, that sword resting on that shoulder on a flat surface, not on that pointy piece, because that wouldn't make sense, okay? Other than that, I like the textures. I would definitely add some aging, if you know what I mean. This is a warrior, so I would want to see some dirt, some grime, some dents, some blood maybe, that kind of thing, right? And there's literally no expression in the face. So I don't know when this was made, whether it was early on in the career or not, but that's just a couple of things that I noticed, right? Okay, let's scroll down here. Wireframe is good. I think that's good to add for sure. A couple of positions going on here. Close up of the texturing, very nice. Some pigmentation in the skin, which is cool. Yeah, that's definitely marmoset, absolutely. Now, I like the breakdown, absolutely. All the detail that's showed here, the mapping, and that's how it should be done, right? Add all of this detail. It gives me a good understanding of how it's made, how the approach was made, and so forth, yeah? I'll try to speed up, guys, because we got a lot more to do. All right, so this is basically, I don't know if it's the same character. No, it's not. This guy has a tail. Maybe it was based off that original one. Let's see what we got here. I'm just going to scroll down first. Pretty much the same approach as far as the breakdown, which is great. Again, this is kind of an anatomy thing, which is kind of something that was already shown in the portfolio. And that's not a problem per se, but because there are literally only 3 projects here, it's kind of limited, right? I know he is a character artist, but still, I mean, I would want to see a lot more than just these 3, okay? So that's kind of my take on this. Let's jump to the next portfolio, right? Now, by coincidence, this is another person from Italy, Rafael Canfora. Hopefully I pronounced that okay, right? So he introduces himself as a VFX artist from Naples. Now, let's go to the About section first, and let's see what we got. So, I know his name, I know where he's from, I know he's a generalist, although he, yeah, that's fine, he's a generalist. About 6 years experience, super important. That's information I want to know. Specialized and Autodesk certified in using Maya, both in the workflow. There are software like ZBrush for sculpting, or finishing models made in Maya, XGen, grooming for System Painter. Okay, very cool. The summary is great because it tells me pretty much everything I want to know, but at the same time, it's told in a very approachable way, kind of like you're having a conversation, which is great, yeah? Okay, contact information. I would really want to see an email address here, because if I want to contact you, I have to click on one of these 3, go to another app, and find the information there, and these are unnecessary steps, right? If I want to contact you and I'm looking through hundreds of portfolios, I want to be able to contact you right away. So I would definitely add an email address there. Looking for full-time employment, contract freelance, skills are displayed nicely, software looks solid, cool, okay? Now, let's look at, again, the purpose. What's the purpose? To get hired. What type of industry specifically is not mentioned, okay? What do you want? Well, you want to have full-time employment. That makes sense. Why? And that's something that I didn't see in the previous portfolio and not on this one either. Why do you want full-time employment in the 3D industry? So in other words, why did you become a 3D artist? What is the appeal for you? What makes you happy? Which is kind of important, because if I have a furniture factory, right, and I need a 3D artist to make 3D models of tables all day long, right? Is that going to make you happy, or are you going to leave my company 6 months later and I have to start all over again? So what makes you tick? What makes you happy? And that kind of thing, yeah? Also, what I want to know is what you have to offer. Now, part of that comes from the portfolio, part of that comes from the summary. So look at the portfolio here. I can see that it's hugely diverse. I can also see that it's, from a skill level point of view, the levels vary quite a bit. It's from pretty high end to pretty basic, I would say. Now, it's great to be able to adopt to a style that a company requires, right? They got a certain style they need you to follow and so forth. But that said, I would say show your best work and show your most recent work. Now, here it says no to AI generated images. Okay, and if I look at this, I'm like, okay. So if the narrative of your portfolio is to get hired, then why add this? I mean, this is your personal opinion that you don't like artificial intelligent images and so forth. That's great, but this is not the platform to make a political statement, in my opinion. Because let's say I hire you and you are so opinionated about things that I'm worried that we're going to be discussing everything because you have an opinion about everything, right? That kind of idea. So I would not necessarily put that there. Now, let's see what else. A lot of scenes, props, products, that kind of thing. Looks great. Yeah, let's see. We'll look at the character here for a minute. Okay, because I want to see the breakdown. Okay. A lot of skin detail. Okay. Got a feather in his neck for some reason. Tattoos look pretty cool. The anatomy looks great. This is actually a very, very good model. Now, I would focus a little bit on the teeth because there's no reflection at all, and that kind of gives away the fact that it's a model, 3D model. Other than that, I think it looks really good, and as far as the beard is concerned, I would have done a bit more grooming. On the sides here, you see the hair is kind of jumping out a little bit, but in the front, everything is perfectly straight down, and it's also transparent. You can basically see the whole chin through the beard, and all the hairs originate from the bottom of the lip here. And in reality, they would generate in layers, right? But that said, I still think it's a really good setup, and it's a really good breakdown as well, okay? So great job. All right, let's go to the next one. We're going to go to Alex Leblanc. And he lives in Ottawa, so I kind of guess that would be a French-speaking Canadian. And I have to say, first glance, looking at this, I love it. Why do I love it? Because there's a very distinct style to it. And what a lot of people tend to do is they focus on the technical aspect of being a 3D artist. What's really important, though, is you need to be able to use that technical knowledge to visualize a creative idea, either yours or that of, let's say, a studio, right? It's very diverse, many different styles, and they look all very unique to me, right? So let's go to the About page, as before, and let's see what's going on. Hello, I'm a 3D character artist and concept artist. I specialize in modeling, texturing, and concept art. If I seem like the right fit for your needs, send me an email. Okay. That in itself is great. The thing is, though, it says, if you think I fit your needs. Well, it's more important that you explain what you need, right? Because this is so random that if I contact you and say, hey, I got a job, the hit and miss rate here can be quite high, right? If you tell me more about what you're looking for, then the chances are that if I do contact you, there's a much higher chance of, us getting together and me offering you a job and that kind of thing, yeah? Now, here's a link to a resume and blog, which is great. That said, though, it's again another click away from this page, and I would typically not be looking at one portfolio as a studio. I would be looking at dozens. So try and keep as much information as possible in one location. The fact that you have a bunch of likes, a bunch of followers is great. There's an email here, which is nice. Looking for full-time employment, skills overview, software overview, looks all great. So I would definitely include more details about who you are, as in where you're from, what your drive is, why you were a 3D artist, what you're looking for, and what you have to offer. And not only what you have to offer from a model standpoint, but what kind of guy are you, right? What's your mentality? Are you very creative, or are you kind of a follower? Tell me what to do and I'll do it, right? That kind of thing, your personality. Alrighty. So let's go to the portfolio and let's see what the breakdown is. Let's look at this guy here. Now this is freaking amazing. Absolutely love it. The water drops, perfect. The shading on the leaf here, awesome. This is a very, very high level. Absolutely love it. Okay. Let's look at the breakdown here. There you go. That's how it's done, guys. That's how it's done. Normal map. So this tells me everything I want to know about your process, right? How do you get to your final result? Very clean mesh, looks like. Yeah, definitely. Let's see, what's the breakdown here? There's a little narrative about what's going on. Only 3 likes, which is kind of amazing because I would expect a lot more. Anyway, like I said, love it. Okay, let's go to the next one. Now, this is a very different level, but I don't know whether this is on purpose because of a certain requested style, I would say. It doesn't speak to me as much because the whole model, as far as fur and stance and all that is concerned, is not really telling a story in my taste, right? The model doesn't have an attitude, it doesn't have a pose, it's basically just looking straight forward, standing on all fours, and it's really basic and very simple, right? Now that said, this can work. I mean, if this is a requirement for whoever you're working for, it can work. Especially if it's a model study, right? It says loosely based on Lin Chen's concept. Cool. So yeah, like it. Not as much as the frog, but I definitely like it. Again, I think this is looking pretty much like the level of the frog. The eye reflection, the sand, the moisture, the foam, this little air bubble here. It's freaking amazing. Very clean mesh as before. We've got some maps going on here. Great. Cartoon semi-realistic baby sea turtle. Yeah. Awesome. Okay, very different style, and that's always important because if you specialize in a certain thing, studios want to know, can you follow along with a different style? Let's say they got a new project where this is the style they want you to match. Are you able to do that? So that mix-up is great, right? Not a lot of breakdown here. Okay, it's a version of the Black Panther. I would love to see the breakdown here as well. Maybe multiple poses, and I would definitely want to see the wireframe. although I already have seen that the wireframes are always very clean. Okay. Female character here. This is what I'm talking about. This pose right here, the attitude, the ability to display that narrative, right? Very, very nice wireframe. The eyes looking upward, that fingernail on the lip, the head slightly tilted, that pose here, absolutely perfect. Great job. Alrighty. Okay, again, this is stylized. I would like to see the hair groomed a little bit more, and keep in mind, this is an animal, right? Animal lives in nature, and in nature you don't stay this clean. So I would kind of, dirty it up a little bit. Other than that, the whole approach here is clean as before. Great job. Okay, we'll do this one and then we'll jump to the next portfolio, right? Cool lighting. Nice skin here. Let's see, do we got a wireframe? No, this looks like a ZBrush sculpt. I would say, yeah, ZBrush in Photoshop. Very, very cool. So in general, I would say that Alex is a very, very solid 3D artist. And now that I've seen all that, I kind of want to see if there's information on how long he's been doing this. I don't remember seeing that. What his background is he self-taught? Did he go to college? Maybe that's all here. And I don't want to jump away from ArtStation, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and assume it's there. But other than that, absolutely great job. All right. Okay, next one. We're going to go, and hopefully I can pronounce this, to, how do I pronounce that? Sorry guys, Nathaniel Filial. I do apologize. What I like about this is literally telling a story, right? It's a full scene with props. You got some stuff going on here that is date appropriate to each other, I would say, as far as the PC is concerned. Really old-time thing there. I see a very, very minor problem in this shot right here. We've got two lit cigarettes that are burning quite red, which would assume that two people are smoking at the same time, and they both put their cigarette on the ashtray at the same time, and they're at exactly the same level of how far they're done, and they're both glowing red, which wouldn't make sense to me, right? I know it's a tiny thing, but hey. Okay, what else? Yeah, I think it looks absolutely solid. Let's look at the About Me page. A lot of information here. Vancouver, Canada. All right. 1 year of experience, workplace, and 2 years college. Multiple project trailers, Unreal Engine. Okay, I like the fact that the way this is described is personal, right? And this is actually the first time where I see some personal information here. Let's see, it says, I now have the knowledge and skill to produce my own games. Very honored to be doing that, love to do so. I always told my mom and dad since I was little that I wanted to work with video games. Now this makes it personal, which is great, because as a studio, I'm hiring a person, not a robot, right? And this tells about your motivation, your passion, where you're coming from, why you want this, and that kind of thing. So as far as the About page is concerned, so far, this is, for me, the best approach, yeah? Skills, software, looks great. A reel included. I think this is the first one I've seen. Let's see what else. Quite a lot of experience. Now, interesting. It says that he has 1+ year of workspace experience and 2 years of college. And yet, look at this list here. Okay, so that's Collective Minds Gaming. All right. Nevertheless, pretty cool. All right, let's go and look at personal projects. That's what I'm mainly interested in. And this surprises me a little bit because there's not a lot here. And based on what I'm reading here, I'm expecting to see this huge portfolio with tremendous breakdowns and that kind of thing. And then I open this up, and there are literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items that all look to be pretty much on the same topic, in the same style, and all basically props. So let's open one of them. Okay. This would work in a game, I would say. And I'm seeing different shots from the same thing. There's some mismatch in the texture, which is not unheard of in a game, I would say. But it's not really a breakdown. There's no wireframe, there's no maps, there's none of that, right? Okay, let's go back and look at one more. And we got a Viking shield going on here. Here we got more breakdown. We got some maps going on. No wireframe, I think. Or do we? Nope. Right, so I would definitely want to see more work in this section, right? But other than that, like I said, as far as the about page, pretty cool. Now this is really, really, really bad. Okay, so I see this portfolio and I'm like, hey, I want to hire this guy, and I click on the contact me page and I get an error. That's not good, right? I would get that sorted for sure. Alrighty, let's go to the last one in this video, and this is also from Italy. Interesting. Okay, so I don't know really how to pronounce the name. Kechibaya or Bala, not sure, I apologize. Let's see, I see some Unreal Engine stuff going on here, some props, but let's go to the about page first. No summary, that's not good. Okay, but then again, I don't know the purpose, but it says full-time employment and contract. There's no summary, so I don't know who you are, I don't know how old you are, I don't know what your experience is, I don't know what type of job you want, I don't know why you want a type of job, I don't know any of that, right? And it says here, these are your skills, this is the software. Okay, well, let's look at the portfolio then. Okay, I'm gonna quickly look at the what is it? Hang on, guys. Let me just go back one step. Yeah, okay. So we're going to look at the Unreal stuff first. And although it looks amazing, it is Unreal, right? Now, that doesn't mean that's not a skill. It means that it's Unreal. And let's see, add a lot of response to every aspect level. Okay, so from a game level design point of view, definitely a solid skill if there are other projects in the portfolio to back that up, right? So let's have a look. Now, there's a weapon, a screwdriver, and some other stuff here. Let's see, pirate gun. Very clean, very detailed, looks amazing. Let's see if we got some more. Okay, the mapping. It's looks okay. Let's look at the model here. Yeah, it looks pretty clean. You got some quads and some triangles there. Interesting. I'm trying not to pixel peep, as you know how people tend to do that. All in all, pretty good breakdown. Not a lot of description going on here, so but it's a very solid piece. Let's call it that. Yeah. All right. Let's move to the screwdriver here. Pretty much same approach. Let's look at what else we got. What's that? A folding fan already. Now that is quite detailed for a prop, and I can imagine that people would have an issue with that, but it depends, right? Okay, it says an egg. Okay, I do definitely like the wireframe. Not exactly sure where that detail is coming from. Okay, that's from the egg. It looks like a Fabergé egg, sort of. Yeah, nice, clean. But overall, it doesn't really give me a good understanding of the skill set. Yes, you're solid in props, but other than that, it's kind of hard. And what I find a problem, to be honest, is the fact that there's a photo of, I assume it's a cat, right? Which is kind of cool and fun and all that stuff. But if you are using this portfolio because you want to get hired, I want to see your face. I want to have an idea who you are, right? I don't want to see a photo of a cat. It's great for your Facebook, your Instagram, or whatnot, but you're looking at a potential company to hire you, right? So just to give you a final breakdown of this video, first thing you need to focus on is purpose. What is the purpose of the video? Do you want to get hired? Do you want to show your work to your friends? That kind of thing. Second is, who are you, right? How old are you? Where are you from? What's your background? Make it a little bit personal. What do you want? Do you want to, be an art director in 10 years? Do you want to make props all your life? What are your goals? How do you want to approach them? Why do you want to approach them? And that kind of thing. So especially the why as well. Now, important to a studio is, what do you have to offer? Well, you can say my artwork, but being an employee at a studio is a lot more than just art, right? Are you flexible? Are you creative? Can you work well in a team? All of these things add value. And that brings me to my final point, where's the value? If you're making a portfolio, you need to explain what your value can be to a potential employer. You can say, well, I have a lot of experience. That's value. Look at my work. It's solid. That's value. I live close by, or I speak 6 languages, or whatever. Anything that will add value to a potential employer will be helpful, right? Okay, sorry it took so long, guys. I want it to be complete. I know it's not a really sexy video, but hopefully it's helpful. I will be doing more reviews in the near future, but that's it for me. If you enjoyed this kind of stuff and you want to see more, you know what to do. Hit that like thing. And that said, I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.